So we continue when Reagan went to Germany, okay, at Brandenburg Gate to ask for a peace treaty with the Soviet Union. Let's hear it. It's okay, open your book 329 and please follow the speech.
Miss 328 or 29?
329, dear, 329.
Capable of striking everything here before me.
This is the gate.
For I join you, as I join your fellow countrymen in the West, in this firm, this unalterable belief, es gibt nur ein Berlin. Behind me stands.
Now he'll start, okay? I skipped all the 3 minutes because it was like an introduction, and now he'll start girls, okay? Are you following?
Yeah.
Stands a wall that encircles the free sectors of this city, part of a vast system of barriers that divides the entire continent of Europe. From the Baltic south, those barriers cut across Germany in a gash of barbed wire, concrete, dog runs, and guard towers. Farther south, there may be no visible, no obvious wall, but there remain armed guards and checkpoints all the same. Still a restriction on the right to travel. Still an instrument to impose upon ordinary men and women the will of a totalitarian state. Yet it is here in Berlin where the wall emerges most clearly. Here, cutting across your city, where the news photo and the television screen have imprinted this brutal division of a continent upon the mind of the world. Standing before the Brandenburg Gate, every man is a German, separated from his fellow men. Every man is a Berliner, forced to look upon a scar.
Okay, so this is the first part, and then they stop and continue after a while. He says, behind me stands the, instead what, girls? I cannot read it.
Stands a wall that encircles the free
stands
sectors.
a wall that encircles the free sectors of the city, okay? Part of a vast system, huge system of barriers, barriers that divides the entire continent of Europe and divides the entire continent. He talks about continent, not only a country. From the Baltic South, those barriers cut across Germany, okay, as we saw previous period on Sunday. A gash of barbed wire, there were wire, concrete, dog runs, guard towers, remember, and the electric shots and the electric alarm system and firing system. There may be no visible, no obvious wall, but there remain armed guard for anyone who tries to escape the communist side. And the checkpoints, all the same. Okay, checkpoints. Still a restriction on the right to travel. There is a restriction on to travel. If you remember when you watched the movie and he said, if you want to visit your grandma or you want to visit your mother or you want to visit your brother, you still have to give a letter and you get approval on the letter, stamp on the letter. It was very difficult process to make. Still an instrument to impose upon ordinary men and women the will of totalitarian state. Totalitarian state is a kind also like democratic and like tyranny, like an economic system, not economic, political system. Okay, political, economic system is communist, okay, and totalitarian is a political system. Yet, it is here in Berlin where the wall emerges most clearly, right? Here, cutting across your city, where the news, photo, yeah, and the television screen have imprinted this brutal division, this wild division of what? Of a country. They divided a country. Okay, this brutal division of a continent upon the mind of the world. Standing before the Brandenburg Gate, every man is a German separated from his fellow man, from his friend, from his brother. Every man is a Berliner. Every one of them is Berliner, not a East Berliner or West Berliner. They are Berliners and they are divided, okay, and forced to look upon a sky. What is the reason for all of that? Is Hitler. Hitler was the reason for all of that.
هتلر اللي عامل مشاكل بالدنيا.
Yeah, the reason of World War II, the reason of Germany defeat, and then it was the reason for the split of Germany. Then we go to minute 9.
Soviets may have had other plans, but my friends, there were a few things the Soviets didn't count on. Berliner Herz, Berliner Humor, ja und Berliner Schnauzer. In the 1950s,
now he starts the second part, girls, line 17. Now he starts it.
In the 1950s, Khrushchev predicted, "We will bury you."
In 1950, okay, Khrushchev was the Soviet Union president at that time. He was the one who gave order to build the Berlin Wall.
بس والله he buried them يعني. فجرهم.
But in the West today, we see a free world that has achieved a level of prosperity and well-being unprecedented in all human history.
You said you will bury us, but I can see now, because the East section, the Soviet Union said, we will bury you, you will bury the capitalists, but I can see a free country now in the side. In the east, in the west side, I can see a level of prosperity in the west today.
In the communist world, we see...
I want you to underline this because this is the main idea of the excerpt. In the communist world, we see
failure, technological backwardness, declining standards of health, even
of most basic kind. Too little food. Even today, the Soviet Union still cannot feed itself. There is something in when I was preparing it yesterday, there was something here, and then we will start, the voice will come back at line 29. So I will read this part till do you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Yes. So we said, underline this of line 21, in the communist world today. You said you will bury us at 1950, you said you will bury us, but now, okay, he is 1987, 1950 and 87, after 37 years of communisms in Berlin. In the communist world, we can see failure, okay? Technological backwards, especially after Chernobyl. Declining standard of health. Even want of the most basic kind, decline standard. Too little food. Even today, the Soviet Union still cannot feed itself. Soviet Union cannot feed itself. After these 4 decades, decade is 1, it's 10 years, then there stands before the entire world one great and inescapable conclusion, highlighted: freedom leads to prosperity. Freedom leads to prosperity. Freedom replaces the ancient hatred among the nations. with comity and peace. Comity down means what, girls?
It means courtesy or civility.
Okay, civility. So, freedom leads to prosperity. Freedom replaces the ancient hatred among the nations with comity, with civility and peace. Freedom is the victor. Why freedom? Freedom is resembled in the capitalism economic system.
Yeah, Miss, they can't
Now-
hold them.
Now he will start line 26, 27, 28, and now the Soviet themselves.
Now the Soviets themselves may in a limited way be coming to understand the importance of freedom. We hear much from Moscow about a new policy of reform and openness. Some political prisoners have been released. Certain foreign news broadcasts are no longer being jammed. Some economic enterprises have been permitted to operate with greater freedom from state control.
And now it looks like Soviet Union started to understand the meaning of freedom. We hear news from Mexico that some prisoners have been freed, okay, and there was a new policy of reform and openness. Some political prisoners have been released. Certain foreign news broadcasts are no longer being jammed because they were not even allowed to watch different news. You know what
But
communism is
it's
now?
like Korea now.
And China. And you know,
Yeah.
in China, you cannot use Facebook. You cannot use WhatsApp. They have their own technology programs. It's WeChat. Yes, there is no Facebook in China.
But I
There's
think and
no.
you can't limit the freedom of people. And if God
They
نفسه he
do.
didn't limit the freedom. And you have
Yes, they
choices.
exist. They do not have Google. Yani, if they have Google, they do not. If they want to search, they search because we have Google. So if you want to search about communism, you search on communism and you find information because it's a free, open word connected together. In China, you cannot write a word and search and you find the results. They banned all the sites. They do not even have Google. They have specific search engine,
Yeah.
specific chat program application, which is WeChat. Okay? So their
Yeah.
country, it is because China is a little bit communism because now there is no pure communism in the words, but there is a communism system. Okay? A communist system. Now we are in line 30. So he says now that, yeah, I started to see, we hear news of Moscow that there are channels to be published there, to be broadcasted there, news and some economic enterprises have been permitted to operate with greater freedom. Yani, private owners started private businesses.
Are these the beginnings of profound changes in the Soviet state, or are they token gestures intended to raise false hopes in the West?
Yes, are you really changing? Are you really, the Soviet Union, are you really changing, or it is just false hopes to false hopes and to fake it?
Or to strengthen the Soviet system without changing it? We welcome change and openness.
We welcome change and openness. We want peace with you.
For we believe that freedom and security go together, that the advance of human liberty can only strengthen the cause of world peace.
Human liberty can strengthen the cause of world peace.
There is one sign the Soviets can make that would be unmistakable, that would advance dramatically the cause of freedom and peace.
Now he will give 2 lines to the General Gorbachev. Please focus on me. Gorbachev was the President of the United States at that time.
Secretary Gorbachev, if you seek peace, if you seek prosperity for the Soviet Union and Eastern Europe, if you seek liberalization, come here to this gate. Mr. Gorbachev, open this gate. Mr. Gorbachev. Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall.
Mr. Gorbachev, if you seek peace, if you want peace, if you seek prosperity for the Soviet Union and Eastern Europe, if you seek liberalization, come here to this gate. Open this gate. Tear down this wall, not war, wall. Tear down this wall of the checkpoint.
I understand the fear of war and the pain of division that afflict this continent, and I pledge to you my country's efforts to help overcome these burdens.
I pledge to you my country's effort to help overcome these burdens. I want peace with the Soviet Union.
To be sure, we in the West must resist Soviet expansion. So we must maintain defenses of unassailable strength. Yet we seek peace, so we must strive to reduce arms on both sides. Beginning 10 years ago, the Soviets challenged the Western alliance with a grave new threat. Hundreds of new and more deadly SS-20 nuclear missiles, capable of striking every capital in Europe.
This is the threat of the Soviet Union 10 years before this speech.
بس it finished
من
عنا.
Yes, it is finished, but I wanted you to hear it. How
Yes,
the Soviet Union showed or exposed its power by the nuclear missiles and nuclear weapons.
The Western Alliance responded by committing itself to a counter-deployment. Unless the Soviets agreed to negotiate a better solution, namely the elimination of such weapons on both sides, for many months, the Soviets refused to bargain in earnestness.
They wanted peace with the Soviet Union in order not to use nuclear weapons. This was the major threat. Yes.
Miss, if they didn't, the Soviet Union didn't have the nuclear weapons. Do you think any United States would end them? Yani would make war وخلاص kill them?
No. This was the reason that United States felt that Soviet Union is the very strong and powerful country.
But the Soviet Union didn't have the the nuclear weapons.
They had, dear.
Yeah. If they didn't have
nuclear power in the world.
Yes. If they didn't have.
If they didn't have, they will be just a country to be invaded.
Yeah, so they will just make war with them وخلاص kill them.
No, they will not care. United States was afraid of any nuclear attack that could happen anytime.
So they didn't care about the wall or about Germany. They cared about
a war of power. A war of strength,
okay.
We can say a war of strength. Which one is more powerful? And Soviet Union was more powerful. What weakened Soviet Union, as I told you, is Chernobyl and the division in Berlin, the Afghanistan war. It was like the last line, the last piece or the last knife to be in the Soviet Union's body. Okay, so here. Of course, the nuclear weapons is not to be said in this excerpt. Here they focused more about the Berlin War and split of Germany. Okay, but I told you all of that in order to open your mind and make you give a greater look to
now Russia and the United States and Japan have them, right? I guess.
Yes, and they say Iran too. And this was the reason for United States to invade Iraq. They said Iraq has nuclear weapons. We have to invade Iraq and to get out of these weapons of Iraq. And they found them. And
now the greatest two countries in Russia and United States, right?
Still the two most powerful. It was Soviet Union and United States. Now it's United States and Russia.
Yeah.
Still, because Russia is Soviet Union but smaller, divided.
Yes.
Okay. We go back to our PowerPoint. Here is it. Okay. We go to here. Here. Discussion questions, girls. Discussion questions. So, today Huda and Judy only participated. Where are other girls? Where are you other girls? Nirvana. Maya. Noor. Where are you?
Teacher, I'm listening.
You're listening? Okay, Maya. Dima, Linda, Ghala. Shall I call each one by a name? So, Malika, answer first question, Malika. Malika? So, did I say the wrong name? Malika, you're not here? Nancy? Nancy, Malika? Nirvana?
Yes, miss.
Read the question.
Why do you think Kennedy says Ich bin ein Berliner? I am a Berliner. Because he's saying that we are all united.
Yes, we are all united. Excellent. I am a Berliner. Yes.
Yeah, that's it.
Yes, he calls himself that he is one of them and he is not free until everyone is free. Read it, Nirvana.
Answers are variable. Students should understand that Kennedy is trying to connect with the plight of Berliners by calling himself one and communicating the message that no one is free until all people are free.
Yes, no one is free until everyone is free. Question number 2, Noor.
Yes. How does each president characterize the consequences being suffered by the people who are bold?
Yes, I want you to tell me about Kennedy. How did he talk about the wall? You go to the excerpt of Kennedy and you search for it. And Huda, you will tell me about Ronald Reagan. You tell me how did he look at this wall. What did he say about the wall? Joe F. Kennedy said what, Yanur, about the wall? Take your time. And Huda, you will see, tell me what Reagan did said about the wall.
يعني مس هلا رونالد ريغان يعني said about the wall that يعني it's not يعني يعني we should remove it, we should make peace لأنه freedom
tear
yeah.
down the
tear down the wall because of freedom لأنه we should have freedom وهكا.
Yes, and he also excellent, and he also said about the wall a scar. Each Berliner will look
yes
a scar. That this wall is a scar. You know, scar. A cut.
They doesn't fade scars. They stay where they are.
Yes, excellent. Noor, did you get what Joe F. Kennedy said about the wall? Excellent, Yehuda.
Malika is waiting in the lobby.
Malika, but I have no requests, dear. Maybe she joined another session.
That is offense against humanity and like separating families.
Excellent. An offense against humanity. Excellent. Read it, Yanur.
Answer will vary but should be text-based. For example, John F. Kennedy characterizes the wall as an offense not only against history but an offense against humanity, and that real lasting peace in Europe can never be assured as long as one German out of 4 is denied the elementary right of free men to make a free choice.
Yes, thank you, Noor. Huda, President Reagan said what?
Yes, miss. President Reagan characterizes the wall as a scar, and that tearing it down would be a statement for peace and the end of the Cold War.
Yes, excellent. Question 3, Judy.
How does each president characterize the people of Berlin?
Hmm.
Miss, what do you mean by this question?
How he said about the people of Berlin. What did they do? What do they do? How they act under the wall, the sieged country?
Teacher, I don't get this question. Like we were
Okay.
talking about.
How does each president characterize the people of Berlin? Skim the excerpt, Huda, the Judy. Did you find anything says about the people of there?
Miss, I found one for President Reagan.
Lojane?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, say it.
When he says that they're coming to understand the importance of freedom, it means slowly they're changing, their views are changing.
Excellent, excellent. When people of Berlin come to understand the meaning of the importance of freedom. This is how John F. Kennedy said about people of Berlin, right?
No, President Reagan.
Yes, Reagan. Oh, you say Reagan. I thought it's Kennedy. Yes, Reagan. Okay. Yes. How women and men understood it is here in line, I'll tell you, line 9, 8 and 9, right?
Miss, should it be in the book? Or
Yes,
can I
it's
understand?
the excerpt, yes. Still a restriction on the right to rebel, still an instrument to impose upon ordinary men and women the will of totalitarian state, as I said to you, it is political system. Yes, okay. What about John F. Kennedy? What did he say about the people?
Miss, when he said that all free men, wherever they may live,
Where?
the video you put.
Okay,
That they
I'll show
want to live and they need freedom.
Yes.
Miss
So
Yuri, how
yes,
did
Maya,
he
thank you.
describe the people
So
of
Judy,
Berlin
read it.
and how did they react?
Read it, Judy.
Answers will vary but should be text-based. JFK commends the Berliners for the vitality and the force and the hope and the determination. Despite having been besieged for 18 years, he also says they have earned the right to be free and to be united with family. Regan describes the people as ordinary men and women imposed upon by totalitarian state, separated from their fellow men and forced to look upon as God.
Yes. Okay, so then we move to page 331. 331. Mariam, would you please read it?
Yes, miss.
Mariam?
Yes. Focus on the speaker's purpose. Writers and speakers have a purpose or goal they seek to accomplish. Their goal may be to persuade, inform, entertain, or achieve another purpose. At times, the writer's or speaker's purpose may be unclear, so readers or listeners must sift through information to discover the purpose. Often, though, the writer or speaker explicitly states what he or she wants to accomplish by using phrases such as "I want" or "we must" or "I believe."
Yes, in speech, in public speech, he should say it clearly. He should not the listener will not interfere. No. Clearly, you should state it clearly and say, I want that, or we must do that, or I believe that freedom will never come, or America will never be free until my kids will be judged by their personalities, not the color of their skin. Martin Luther King in I Have a Dream. Here, Ronald Reagan, he asked for peace with the Soviet Union when he said, I see, or we believe, or we must have peace. Okay? When Kennedy said that this wall should be broken. Okay? Here, in which sentences does Reagan reveal his purpose for speaking? Support your answer with details from the speech. Okay, that's right. Here, in which sentence does Reagan reveal his purpose? I told you to underline them. His purpose for speaking. So can you answer, ya Mariam?
Yes, Miss. Minutes.
Line 20. I told you to underline line 20 and
Yes,
line
I
45.
just put it first. 1 minute.
It's in the excerpt, line 20 and line 45.
Oh yes, here's it. 1 minute. Yeah, I know of no town, no city that has been. Wait, what? Yes, that has been designed for 18 years that still lives with vitality and the force and the hope and determination of the city of West Berlin. And
Where are you, dear? I say line 20 of Reagan's speech.
yes, sorry, I think I underlined it by mistake, something else. Okay, in the communist world, we see failure, technological backwardness, declining standards of health, and we want the most basic kind, too little food.
So here he shows that the communist system is failing. It is not prospering anymore. The second part is on line 44. Line 44. In line 44, ya Linda, Dima, Dima, Serena, Dima.
Yes, Dima.
Line 44, ya Dima, what did he say?
On page 331.
Yes.
Come here to this gate, Mr. Gorbachev. Open this gate, Mr. Gorbachev.
General
Steer down this wall.
Secretary Gorbachev. We are in 331, line 44.
Teacher, can you hear me?
Yes, yeah, Dima. 331, line 44.
Teacher, no. Come here.
General Secretary Gorbachev. Serena. Lin
Yes,
الحاج.
teacher.
Dima,
General Secretary Gorbachev.
Yes.
I'm still lagging.
No, continue. We are out of time, Dima. So لين الحاج. عهد.
Can I read that?
Yes, ma'am. Read يا عهد 44. I don't have the book. Anyone?
Can you hear me?
Miss, can I read?
Yes, read please.
Hello.
General Secretary Gorbachev, if you seek peace, if you seek prosperity for the Soviet Union and Eastern Europe, if you seek liberalization, come here to this gate, Mr. Gorbachev. Open this gate, Mr. Gorbachev. Tear down this wall.
Yes, all these 4 lines, please underline them and highlight them. This is the main reason. This is the main claim for his speech. This is what he wants from his speech, to make peace with the Soviet Union. So General Secretary Gorbachev, if you seek peace, if you seek prosperity for the Soviet Union and Eastern Europe, if you seek liberalization, come here to this gate, break down this or tear down this wall and open this gate. Okay? Please read it. Anyone read it? Huh? President Reagan?
Should I read it?
Read it, Yadima, huh?
President Reagan reveals the purpose of his speech in the sentence, Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall. His goal is to pressure the Russian secretary to remove the barrier between East Berlin and West Berlin. The president states that many reasons why removing the wall is the right decision. The entire speech builds up to that moment.
Yes, now we come to the last question of today. What is Kenneth's purpose? Yes, Serena.
Yes,
What is
you called me, right?
Yeah, many times. What is Kennedy's purpose for speaking? So Reagan's purpose is to make peace with the Soviet Union, tear down this wall, open the checkpoint gates. What was Kennedy's purpose for speaking? What did Kennedy do? Want
Freedom, peace, and safety.
freedom, peace, and safety. Excellent, dear.
He wants to show people outside of Berlin how bad the Communism Party is.
Excellent, excellent. Both of them did the same one. Excellent, dear. So read it, please. Read it, Maya. Maya?
Yes, I'm reading. President Kennedy's goal for his speech is clarified when he says real lasting peace in Europe can never be assured as long as one German out of 4 is denied the elementary right of free men. Kennedy, like Reagan, is against the existence of the Berlin Wall.
Yes, excellent, girls. So Kennedy and Reagan, both of them were against the Berlin Wall. Both of them wanted it to end. Kennedy insisted that there will never be freedom until you break down the wall. And Reagan said that we have to make peace treaty with the Soviet Union. Come, break down this wall. Let's start a free, prosperous life. Okay? We finished the first read, girls. Okay, we finished the first read.
Yeah.
Do you have any questions?
No.
Okay, I see you enjoyed the topic. You like the topic.
Yes.
Yes, it was nice.
Okay. Okay, girls, see you on Sunday, inshallah. Have a nice
See
weekend.
you. Bye.
Bye.